stuff. What if I told you some US coins in your pocket right now could be worth thousands of dollars? Many people spend valuable American coins every day without realizing it. Washington quarters dated 1932 to 1964 are made of real silver and can be worth much more than face value, especially with rare errors. The Sacagawea dollar can be extremely valuable if you find the rare 2000 P. Cheerios version or a mule error. Susan B. Anthony dollars, especially the 1979 wide rim variety, are highly collectible and can sell for hundreds or even thousands in top condition. Lincoln Wheat Pennies from 1909 to 1958 are some of the most searched U.S. coins, with key dates and error coins worth serious money. Before you spend your change, always take a closer look, because one small U.S. coin could change everything. Coin number 1, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar, is one of the most historically important coins ever produced by the United States Mint, and many people don't realize how big a turning point this single year was in American coinage. Even though the 1965 quarter is often considered common, it tells a powerful story about silver, inflation, government decisions, and rare errors that today can be worth far more than face value. If you have a 1965 quarter in your pocket, in an old jar of coins, or tucked away in a collection, you should definitely keep watching, because some examples are far more valuable than most people think. Before 1965, Washington quarters were made of 90% silver. For decades, Americans were used to silver coins in everyday circulation. But by the early 1960s, rising silver prices caused a nationwide coin shortage. People began saving silver coins, and the government faced a serious problem. In response, the Coinage Act of 1965 completely changed U.S. coins forever. This is the year silver was officially removed from circulating dimes and quarters, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. That makes the 1965 Washington quarter the very first regular-issue quarter struck without silver. The design of the 1965 quarter remains the familiar Washington quarter style that debuted in 1932. On the obverse, we see George Washington facing left, based on a sculpture by Jean-Antoine Houdon. The word "Liberty" appears across the top, with "In God We Trust" placed to the left of Washington's neck. The date, 1965, is positioned at the bottom. On the reverse, the eagle stands proudly with wings spread, holding arrows, with olive branches below. United States of America appears across the top, E pluribus unum above the eagle, and quarter dollar at the bottom. One major detail collectors should know about the 1965 quarter is that it does not have a mint mark. During this time, mint marks were temporarily removed to discourage hoarding. Even though these coins were struck primarily in Philadelphia, the absence of a mint mark often confuses new collectors. If your 1965 quarter has no mint mark, that is completely normal. The standard 1965 Washington quarter is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, consisting of a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper and nickel. It weighs about 5.67 grams and has a reeded edge. If you look closely at the edge of a regular 1965 quarter, you should see a visible copper stripe. This detail alone can help you identify whether your coin is standard or something much rarer. Even though hundreds of millions of 1965 quarters were produced, condition still matters. Circulated examples that show heavy wear are typically worth only face value. Coins with less wear, sharper details, and stronger luster can be worth more, especially to collectors assembling date sets. Coins that were saved early and never entered circulation are more desirable and can sell for higher prices depending on eye appeal and surface quality. Now here is where things get really interesting. One of the most valuable and famous errors involving the 1965 Washington quarter is the silver planchet error. During the transition from silver to clad coinage, a small number of 1,965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets intended for 1964 quarters. These coins look almost identical to regular quarters at first glance, but they have important differences. They weigh more, around 6.25 grams, and they do not show the copper edge stripe. Instead, the edge appears solid silver. These transitional error quarters are extremely rare and can be worth thousands of dollars depending on condition. Another valuable variety to look for is off-center strikes. These occur when the coin blank is not properly aligned during striking. If the date is still visible and the off-center strike is dramatic, these coins can command strong premiums. The more extreme and visually striking the error, the more collectors are willing to pay. Double strike errors are also known on 1965 quarters. This happens when a coin is struck more than once by the dies, creating overlapping or rotated images. These errors are highly collectible and can vary widely in value depending on how clear the doubling appears. Die cracks and cuds are another category of collectible errors. A die crack appears as a raised line on the coin caused by a cracked die. As the crack grows, it can eventually form a cud, which looks like a blob or raised area where part of the design is missing. Larger and more dramatic die breaks tend to be more valuable and easier to sell. Some 1965 quarters were struck as part of special mint sets rather than regular circulation. These coins were produced with better care and often have a smoother, satin-like finish. While they are not proof coins, they are higher quality than standard circulation strikes. Special mint set quarters from 1965 can be worth significantly more than regular circulated coins, especially if they remain well preserved. Collectors should also pay close attention to strike quality. Some 1965 quarters were weakly struck, particularly in the hair details of Washington and the eagle's feathers. Coins with strong strikes, crisp lettering, and full details are more desirable even without errors. When it comes to value, most circulated 1965 quarters are common and easy to find. However, uncirculated examples with strong eye appeal can sell for several dollars, and high-quality examples can go much higher. Error coins, especially silver planchet strikes, can sell for thousands of dollars and are considered major collector pieces. The 1965 Washington quarter is also popular because it represents a major turning point in American history. It marks the end of silver in everyday pocket change and the beginning of modern clad coinage. Many collectors enjoy owning this coin because of its historical significance, even if it isn't rare in normal condition. If you are searching through rolls, jars, or old collections, always check the edge first. A missing copper stripe could indicate a silver planchet error. Weighing the coin can also help confirm whether it is standard or unusual. Always examine the coin under good lighting and look for doubling, cracks, or unusual shapes. For beginners, the 1965 quarter is a great educational coin. It teaches the importance of composition, history, and minting transitions. For advanced collectors, it offers exciting error coin opportunities and high-value rarities. In conclusion, while the average 1965 Washington quarter may seem ordinary, the story behind it is anything but. From the end of silver coinage to rare transitional errors and collectible mint set examples, this coin has something for everyone. Never assume a coin is worthless just because it's common. Take the time to inspect it carefully, because you never know when a small detail could turn a simple quarter into a valuable piece of American history. If you enjoy learning about valuable U.S. coins, rare errors, and hidden treasures still found in circulation, make sure to keep watching, because there are many more coins just like the 1965 Washington quarter that may be sitting unnoticed right now. Coin number 2, the Sacagawea dollar coin from the United States, especially the 2000D mint issue, is one of the most interesting modern American coins that many people still overlook today. If you have ever found a golden-colored dollar coin in your pocket, coin jar, or collection and wondered whether it might be worth something, this video is for you. In this detailed video, we are going to talk about the 2000D Sacagawea dollar coin, its history, design, minting details, rare varieties, errors, current values, and why collectors continue to search for this coin even more than 20 years after it was first released. The Sacagawea dollar was introduced by the United States Mint in the year 2000 as a replacement for the Susan B. Anthony dollar, which had failed in circulation because it was too similar in size and color to the quarter. The U.S. Mint wanted a coin that was visually distinct, easy to recognize, and meaningful to American history. That is when the Sacagawea dollar was created, featuring Sacagawea, the Native American woman who played a key role in the Lewis and Clark expedition. The 2000D Sacagawea dollar was struck at the Denver Mint, and the D Mint mark can be found on the obverse of the coin. One of the first things that catches attention about the 2000D Sacagawea dollar is its golden appearance. Many people mistakenly believe it is made of gold, but the coin is actually composed of a copper core with outer layers of manganese brass. This composition gives the coin its distinctive golden color while keeping production costs low. The edge of the coin is smooth, unlike the reeded edge found on quarters and dimes, which makes it stand out even more in circulation. On the obverse side of the 2000D Sacagawea dollar coin, you will see a detailed portrait of Sacagawea carrying her infant son, Jean-Baptiste. This design was created by sculptor Glenna Goodacker and is widely praised for its realistic and respectful depiction. The word Liberty appears along with the date 2000, and the mint mark D identifies it as a Denver Mint issue. The reverse side features a bold soaring eagle design by Thomas D. Rogers, symbolizing freedom and strength, with the inscriptions United States of America and $1. The Denver Mint produced a very large number of Sacagawea dollars in 2000. In fact, over 500 million Sacagawea dollars were struck at the Denver Mint that year. Because of this high mintage, most standard 2000D Sacagawea dollar coins found in circulation are considered common and typically do not carry a high premium over face value. However, condition is extremely important. Coins that remain in uncirculated or mint state condition can be worth more, especially to collectors who are assembling complete sets. When it comes to value, a circulated 2000D Sacagawea dollar coin is usually worth $1. However, an uncirculated coin in mint condition may sell for a few dollars, depending on its grade. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services can sometimes sell for higher prices, especially if they have strong eye appeal and no major marks. While these coins are not extremely valuable in normal condition, collectors still actively seek high-grade examples. What really excites collectors about the 2000 Sacagawea dollars are the rare varieties and error coins. One of the most famous and valuable varieties is the 2000 P Cheerios dollar, which was included in boxes of Cheerios cereal as a promotion. While this variety was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and not Denver, it caused many collectors to closely inspect all Sacagawea dollars from the year 2000, including the 2000D coins, in search of unusual details or errors. Some of the errors that collectors look for on 2000D Sacagawea dollar coins include off-center strikes, double strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and missing edge lettering errors. Although Sacagawea dollars do not normally have edge lettering, striking errors such as weak strikes or planchet defects can still add collectible value. If you find a 2000D Sacagawea dollar with visible errors, it could be worth significantly more than face value, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. Another factor that affects the value of the 2000D Sacagawea dollar coin is demand. Even though millions were minted, many were never released widely into circulation. Banks and businesses were slow to use them, and many people saved them as souvenirs. Today, collectors appreciate the Sacagawea dollar as an important transition coin in modern U.S. coinage, representing diversity, history, and a new approach by the U.S. Mint. The Sacagawea dollar series continued after the year 2000, eventually evolving into the Native American dollar series with changing reverse designs starting in 2009. However, the original 2000D Sacagawea dollar remains special because it was part of the very first year of issue. First-year coins often hold long-term collector interest, especially when they represent a major design change in United States currency. If you are searching for a 2000D Sacagawea dollar coin, you may find one in old bankrolls, estate collections, coin jars, or even inherited collections. Always handle the coin carefully, holding it by the edges to avoid fingerprints. If you believe you have a high-grade example or a possible error coin, professional evaluation can help determine its true value. In conclusion, the 2000D Sacagawea dollar coin from the United States is not just a $1 coin. It represents a unique moment in American coin history, honoring Sacagawea and introducing a bold new design to U.S. currency. While most examples are worth face value, uncirculated coins, rare errors, and exceptional condition pieces can be worth more. That is why collectors continue to look closely at these coins today. If you enjoy learning about valuable and collectible U.S. coins, Make sure to check your change, explore your old collections, and stay informed. You never know when a simple-looking dollar coin could turn into an exciting discovery. Coin number 3, the 1951 1-cent wheat penny from the United States, is one of those coins that many people overlook, yet it holds an important place in American numismatic history. This coin was produced during a time when the United States was rebuilding after World War II, and everyday objects like coins quietly reflected the strength and stability of the nation. If you've ever searched through old jars of pennies or inherited a small coin collection, there's a good chance you've come across a 1951 wheat penny without realizing its story or potential value. The wheat penny design, officially known as the Lincoln Wheat Cent, was introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. By 1951, this design had already been in circulation for more than 4 decades. The familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front symbolized unity, honesty, and leadership, while the 2 wheat ears on the back represented prosperity and America's agricultural strength. The 1951 wheat penny carries this classic design, making it one of the last wheat cents produced before the design changed in 1959. The D mint mark on this coin tells us that it was struck at the Denver Mint. During 1951, the Denver Mint was producing millions of coins to meet the needs of a growing economy. Because of this, the 1951 wheat penny is considered a common date overall, but that does not mean it is worthless. Many collectors, especially beginners, actively search for this coin to complete date and mint mark sets of Lincoln wheat pennies. One of the most important things to understand about the 1951 wheat penny is its composition. Like most wheat pennies minted before 1982, this coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This high copper content gives the coin its rich reddish-brown color when new, and over time, it naturally tones to brown shades depending on how it was stored and handled. Copper prices alone give these coins a base value, which is one reason they are still saved and collected today. Condition plays a major role in determining the value of a 1951 wheat penny. Coins that have been heavily circulated often show smooth areas on Lincoln's hair, jawline, and coat, as well as flattened wheat stalks on the reverse. These worn examples are very common and usually worth only a small amount above face value, but they still hold historical and sentimental importance. Coins that show moderate wear, where details are still visible but softened, are more desirable to collectors building budget-friendly collections. These pieces often display clear dates and mint marks, making them easy to identify. While they may not be rare, their value increases slightly due to better eye appeal and readability. Uncirculated examples of the 1951 wheat penny are where collector interest really starts to grow. These coins were never used in everyday transactions and often retain sharp details, original luster, and strong strikes. Finding one in original condition can be challenging because many were spent, rolled, and handled over the decades. Coins with strong detail and attractive color are always more desirable in the collector market. Another factor that adds interest to the 1951 wheat penny is the possibility of errors and varieties. Error coins are mistakes made during the minting process, and they can significantly increase a coin's value. Common errors to look for include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, doubled details, and unusual die cracks. While not all errors are dramatic, even small minting mistakes can make a 1951 wheat penny far more collectible. Doubled features, especially in lettering or dates, are particularly exciting for collectors. These occur when the die used to strike the coin received a misaligned impression during its creation. When visible doubling appears clearly to the naked eye, collectors often pay close attention. Although major doubled varieties for the 1951 wheat penny are not extremely common, minor doubling still exists and is worth checking for carefully. Die cracks and die breaks are another area of interest. These appear as raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface of the coin, caused by cracks in the minting die. Over time, as the die continued striking coins, the cracks grew larger. Coins with prominent die cracks can attract collectors who specialize in mint errors and production anomalies. The historical context of 1951 also adds depth to this coin. The United States was entering a new era marked by economic growth, technological progress, and global influence. The Korean War had begun, and the Cold War was shaping political decisions. While a penny might seem insignificant, it circulated through the hands of people living during these important moments in history. Each 1951 Wheat penny is a small artifact from that time. Collectors often appreciate the Wheat Penny series because it offers a balance of affordability and history. Unlike some rare coins that cost thousands of dollars, Wheat Pennies allow collectors to build meaningful collections without extreme expense. The 1951 Wheat Penny is a perfect example of this, offering historical significance, classic design, and collectible appeal all in one small coin. Proper storage is essential if you own a 1951 Wheat Penny and want to preserve its condition. Copper is sensitive to moisture, air, and handling. Storing coins in a dry environment and avoiding direct contact with bare hands can help maintain their surfaces. Even common coins can lose value if they are cleaned improperly or exposed to damaging conditions. It's also important to understand that cleaning a coin can reduce its value significantly. Many beginners make the mistake of polishing or scrubbing old pennies to make them look shiny. This removes original surfaces and can permanently damage the coin. Collectors generally prefer coins in their original, untouched condition, even if they show signs of age and toning. The 1951 Wheat Penny is frequently searched online because people often find them in old collections, estate sales, or inherited coin jars. Many wonder if they've discovered something rare or valuable. While most examples are not worth large sums of money, certain conditions, errors, and exceptional examples can still command strong interest from collectors. Another reason this coin remains popular is nostalgia. Wheat pennies were once a normal part of daily life in America. For many people, they remind them of childhood, of saving pennies, or of learning about history through coins. The 1951 Wheat Penny carries that emotional value along with its historical background. For those just starting a coin collection, the 1951 Wheat Penny is an excellent entry point. It's affordable, easy to find, and rich in history. It also teaches important lessons about mint marks, condition, and the impact of small details on value. These fundamentals apply to all areas of coin collecting. Even advanced collectors keep examples of common wheat pennies because they help complete full date and mint mark sets. A collection without a 1951 would feel incomplete, despite its availability. That's why demand for this coin remains steady year after year. As time goes on, fewer wheat pennies remain in circulation. Many have been melted, lost, or damaged. This gradual reduction adds long-term interest to the series as a whole. While the 1951 Wheat Penny may never become extremely rare, its place in American coinage history is secure. Coin number for the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar coin is one of the most misunderstood and fascinating coins in United States history. At first glance, many people overlook it or confuse it with a quarter, but this small dollar carries an important story about American culture, women's history, and modern coin collecting. In this video, we are going to take a deep and complete look at the 1979 Susan B. Anthony coin, why it was created, how it fits into U.S. coin history, which varieties exist, what makes certain examples valuable, and why collectors still search for this coin today. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was introduced in 1979 as part of an effort by the United States Mint to modernize American coinage. For decades, dollar coins had been large, heavy, and unpopular in everyday use. Lawmakers and the Mint believed that a smaller, lighter dollar coin would encourage Americans to use coins instead of paper dollar bills, saving money in the long term. This idea led to the creation of the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the first U.S. circulating coin to feature a real woman who was not a symbolic figure. Susan B. Anthony was chosen for the coin because of her powerful role in American history. She was a leading figure in the women's suffrage movement and dedicated her life to fighting for equal voting rights. Placing her portrait on a circulating U.S. coin was a historic decision and represented a major milestone in recognizing women's contributions to the nation. The coin's design was intended to honor her legacy while also introducing a modern look for U.S. currency. The obverse of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar features a bold portrait of Susan B. Anthony facing right. Her expression is strong and serious, reflecting her determination and leadership. Around the edge of the coin, you'll find the words Liberty at the top and the date, 1979, at the bottom. To the right of her portrait is the P, D, or S mint mark depending on where the coin was produced. The motto, "In God We Trust," appears to the left of her image. The reverse design of the coin was not new. It was originally used on the Apollo 11 commemorative silver dollar and later adapted for the Susan B. Anthony dollar. The reverse shows an eagle landing on the moon, holding an olive branch, with the Earth visible in the background. This powerful image symbolizes peace and America's achievement in space exploration. Surrounding the design are the inscriptions United States of America and $1, along with the motto E pluribus unum. The coin's composition is copper-nickel clad, similar to modern quarters and dimes. It contains no silver, which surprised many people at the time because earlier dollar coins often had precious metal content. The Susan B. Anthony dollar has a diameter of about 26.5 millimeters and weighs 8.1 grams. Its size and color were very close to that of the quarter, which would later become one of the biggest reasons for its failure in circulation. In 1979, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was produced at 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, Denver coins have a D, and San Francisco coins have an S. Each mint produced millions of these coins, making most standard examples very common today. However, within the 1979 issues, there are important varieties that collectors pay close attention to. One of the most famous and valuable varieties of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is the 1979 P wide rim variety. Early in production, the mint used a different hub that resulted in a wider rim near the date. On this variety, the date appears closer to the edge of the coin compared to the standard version. This small design difference has become extremely important to collectors, and the wide rim variety is much scarcer than the regular issue. The regular 1979 P dollar is often called the narrow rim variety. On these coins, the date appears farther away from the edge and the rim looks thinner. Because the narrow rim version was produced in much higher numbers, it is far more common and usually carries lower value unless found in exceptional condition. Learning how to spot the difference between wide rim and narrow rim coins is one of the most important skills for anyone collecting Susan B. Anthony dollars. The 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar was minted in Denver and does not have a wide rim variety. These coins are generally common and were struck in large quantities. Most examples you'll encounter today show signs of contact marks and wear because many were stored in bags and not carefully handled. High-quality examples with sharp details and clean surfaces are more desirable and harder to find. The San Francisco Mint also produced 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars. Some were struck for circulation, while others were made with a proof-like finish intended for collectors. These coins typically show better detail and smoother surfaces compared to circulation strikes. Even so, most standard examples remain affordable unless they are in outstanding condition or part of special collector sets. One of the reasons the Susan B. Anthony dollar struggled in circulation was its similarity in size and color to the quarter. Many people accidentally spent them as quarters or refused to use them altogether. Vending machines and cash registers were not always compatible with the new coin, which caused frustration for businesses and consumers. As a result, the public quickly rejected the coin, and large numbers ended up stored in government vaults. Despite its failure in everyday use, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar has grown in popularity among collectors over time. Its short production run and unique place in U.S. history make it an interesting coin to study and collect. It also represents an important experiment in modern coin design and public acceptance. When it comes to value, most 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollars are worth modest amounts in circulated condition. However, coins with sharp strikes, strong luster, and minimal marks can command higher prices. The most valuable examples are those that show exceptional preservation and eye appeal. The 1979 P wide rim variety is especially sought after and can be worth significantly more than standard issues, even in lightly circulated condition. Collectors should also pay attention to strike quality. Some Susan B. Anthony dollars were weakly struck, particularly around the hair details and lettering. Coins with strong, crisp details throughout the design are more desirable and often harder to locate. Surface quality also matters, as marks, scratches, and dullness can reduce a coin's appeal. Another interesting aspect of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar is its role in paving the way for future dollar coins. Although the coin itself was not successful, the lessons learned from its design and circulation helped influence later small dollar coins. The idea of featuring notable Americans on circulating coins continued, eventually leading to other modern dollar coin programs. Today, many people discover Susan B. Anthony dollars in old collections, bankrolls, or inherited coin jars. Because the coin looks similar to a quarter, it is sometimes overlooked, making it important to check dates and designs carefully. Finding a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar can be exciting, especially if it turns out to be the wide rim variety. For beginners, the Susan B. Anthony dollar is an excellent entry point into U.S. coin collecting. It is affordable, widely available, and full of history. Coin number 5, and we will explore the 1966 Washington quarter, was minted during an interesting period in U.S. coinage. This was a time when the United States was transitioning from coins with silver content to coins made entirely of copper and nickel. In fact, the 1965 to 1970 Washington quarters are known for being 25% silver-free, meaning they were made from a clad composition of copper and nickel. This makes the 1966 quarter a key example for collectors who focus on post-silver U.S. coins. One of the most striking features of the 1966 Washington quarter is its classic design. On the obverse, you have the iconic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 to commemorate Washington's 200th birthday. The details of Washington's hair, the sharpness of the lines, and the overall striking profile make this coin recognizable and beloved among collectors. On the reverse, you'll find the traditional eagle with spread wings, perched on a bundle of arrows above 2 olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace. This timeless design has made the Washington quarter one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. The 1966 quarter was minted in large quantities, which means it's relatively easy to find in circulation today. However, don't let that fool you. There are still variations and details that can make a particular coin valuable. Collectors often look for coins in uncirculated condition, also referred to as MS-grade coins, which can fetch higher prices in the coin market. Coins with minimal wear, sharp details, and no scratches are considered premium, even for common years like 1966. Interestingly, while the 1966 quarter doesn't contain silver, it's still an essential coin for anyone trying to complete a full set of Washington quarters from 1965 to 1970. This series is notable for its copper-nickel composition and its historical significance during a time when coinage was undergoing a major change. For many collectors, having a pristine 1966 quarter is a must-have for a complete modern quarter collection. When it comes to market value, a typical circulated 1966 Washington quarter usually sells for its face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated coins, especially those in higher grades like MS-65 or MS-66, can sell for several dollars. Rare errors or coins with unique characteristics, such as double dyes, repunched mint marks, or unusual toning, can command even higher prices among collectors. So, if you happen to find a 1966 quarter that looks exceptional or different from the rest, it's definitely worth checking further. For coin enthusiasts, knowing where your 1966 quarters were minted can also be important. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of these coins, while the Denver Mint contributed a smaller number, marked with a D mint mark on the reverse side. Coins from the San Francisco Mint were mostly proof sets, which are designed specifically for collectors and have a brilliant, mirror-like finish. Identifying the mint mark and the coin's condition are crucial steps in determining its value and rarity. Collectors should also pay attention to key details on the coin. For example, check the date and mint mark closely for clarity, ensure the edges are smooth and not worn down, and look at the high points of Washington's profile for signs of wear or damage. Even small differences in strike quality can make a difference in grading and value. Another important aspect of the 1966 Washington quarter is its role in educating young collectors. Because it's easy to find and inexpensive, it's often one of the first coins that new collectors add to their albums. It's a great coin for teaching about coin composition, minting history, and the evolution of U.S. currency over time. Having a 1966 quarter in your collection allows you to share the story of America's coinage transition from silver to clad coins, which is an essential chapter in U.S. numismatic history. If you're looking to buy or sell 1966 Washington quarters, the coin market offers many options. You can find them at local coin shops, online marketplaces, auctions, or through coin shows. Prices fluctuate depending on condition, demand, and rarity. For serious collectors, investing in a high-grade 1966 quarter can be a small but meaningful addition to a long-term collection strategy. In summary, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar may seem like a common coin at first glance, but it holds an important place in American numismatic history. Its classic design, minting story, and role in post-silver coinage make it a coin worth knowing and collecting. Whether you're a beginner looking to start your collection or an experienced collector seeking high-grade examples, the 1966 quarter has something to offer for everyone. Remember, even the most common coins can tell fascinating stories. Each 1966 Washington quarter carries a piece of history, from the hands of the mint workers to the pockets of everyday Americans. If you take the time to inspect your coins carefully, you might just discover a hidden gem or an unexpected value in your collection. So, next time you come across a 1966 Washington quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look at its design, its condition, and its mint mark. Appreciate the story it tells, and consider how it fits into your larger collection. Coins like these are small windows into the past, tangible pieces of American history that you can hold in your hand. Thank you for watching, and make sure to keep exploring, collecting, and learning about U.S. coins. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed learning about the 1966 Washington quarter, subscribe for more coin collection insights, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a chance to discover rare and interesting coins from U.S. history. Keep collecting and keep cherishing the coins that make history come alive.